Hello everybody in Dom 601. Room Victory here, and here I'm joined by...
I'm Amanda. I'm taking over for Zane Reborn while he's sick. We're also joined by...
I have to be honest, I cut it out because, well, I didn't really so much cut it out. It was more so because I kept on forgetting to put it in. Oh my gosh.
You just casually continue a conversation we were having before we recorded while we're doing the intro. And also, who am I looking at now?
You're looking at me.
I'm asking Orca.
I'm Amanda.
Right, I'm looking at Zane. And I presume I'm looking into the abyss over here.
You're looking to the void. You're looking at...
Right.
You're looking at Boz.
My home! It's where I belong!
So, Doctor, what are we doing here?
Today, well... Manda...
Guys,
Today...
Sorry. I should have just kept that internal. I just sputtered that out.
This previous weekend, like, what, 2-3 days ago, as of us recording this, we finally got the sequel to Camp Cretaceous, Jurassic World Chaos Theory.
Yay!
My ears are bleeding!
Speaking of spoilers, Bumpy dies.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that moment when... Oh, it's so sad, you know? I almost cried when it happened.
I'm just super depressed now. Really.
I know, 0 out of 10. Worst show ever. They killed Bumpy. They killed the main character.
Honestly. Preached to the choir right there.
So, just for the record, that was a lie. Well, kinda. But...
What do you
Well,
mean? I didn't watch
you
this
went
to finish the episode.
Spoilers, okay? Full spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, fucking leave.
Bye.
Hey, why would you be here?
Okay, so a show with 10 episodes were released this weekend.
Mhm.
What the hell do we talk about?
Everything and everything.
I just love that it's got, I don't know, 10 minutes have gone by and none of you have even questioned where Zane Reborn actually is.
Do we really need him?
Yeah, do we really need them?
Who likes the green tennis ball anyway? Didn't he get sacrificed to Tank
Although,
last episode?
I will say, I would recommend leaving Manda, considering what happened to the last one I had of you.
Oh.
It's a pick on my, hang on, it's a pick on my, okay. What did you do to my sister?
I ate her.
Tastes like fish and chips.
No, it tastes like plastic.
What chippy did you go to?
On that note, you've been a great crowd, everybody. Good night. I'm out of here.
Bye. Bye.
What? Wait, we're doing an episode?
Yeah. Come on, keep up.
Why didn't anyone tell me?
You have Chris Pratt inside your mouth again.
No, I don't.
I can see his hands. Let go of Garfield.
No, I don't. See? Ah, empty.
So, Chaos Theory. What did you actually think, you two?
Oh man, I'm gonna go first because, wow, that was amazing. That was just, whoa. Like, honestly, coming into this, I was thinking, I was kind of thinking, are we gonna get more of seasons 4 and 5, or are we gonna go back to seasons 1 to 3? We got neither. We got something insanely different, and it's like leagues better. Like, I came to thinking, oh, it's gonna be more Camp Cretaceous. It's gonna be fine, but wow, that was great.
Well, his thing for me, to me, it did feel like Camp Cretaceous again, just slightly different. But maybe because I haven't watched the show in like 2 years.
Meanwhile, right here, I did the smart thing and binge watched the whole show before it came out. So it was fresh in my mind.
I tried to. I didn't have the time. I only watched half of the first season.
No wonder you think, oh, it's the same thing, just slightly different. It is not the same thing. It is entirely different.
I meant to do that, but I had to be outside for 3 days. I actually got sunburned.
No way.
Yeah. Should we go through it like episode by episode or something?
Nah, I think I remember Indominus saying last time we did that, it was way too long and he almost died.
I need to rank each episode by Ben. So that's something I need to do.
And now it's time for the best segment of the show. Rank the episode based on Ben. Take it away, Orca. Oh, wrong way. Take it away, Orca.
Am I doing the whole thing now?
Do it.
And
I'll just say, we were able to get a live feed. We were able to get what was essentially a live feed of Orca watching the show.
Which was just 90% screenshots of Ben being posted in the Discord chat.
It was just Ben.
And then I had devastating news. I think this was the lowest point. Oops. This was the lowest point of the whole show. You know, I mean, I heard someone was dying, but I don't really care. Or died, I don't know. He was taken. Like 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10, honestly.
And
Worst thing in the world.
I want to add here. He says it's a girl in Europe. Do you want to know where Beckel's Spinax is from?
Oh, what? No.
Oh, no.
No.
It's English. Which is a part of Europe.
Oh,
it?
no.
I'm only joking.
One of my theories actually came true.
Your theory
But hey.
of Ben dating Beckel's Spinax has some resemblance of evidence.
I swear, if his girlfriend is named Becky,
Or brunette.
I will find
we're in
this
trouble.
Becky. I will find this Becky and 1v1 them in the street. I don't care if it's a giant dinosaur. I will still take them down.
Just a whale versus a Beckel Spinax.
I just imagine Orca in the streets, just like punching up to the Beckel's Spinax.
There we go. We've ranked all the episodes based on Ben.
Great, we can actually start the video now.
Half an hour in the recording.
Oh my gosh, half an hour in and all we've done is talk about Ben.
Exactly. He's the best character.
I mean, he is my favorite character now because he's the funny one.
I would admit, all the characters have, like, just grown, like, how do I describe this?
Grown?
Become
Pretty
adults.
much, yeah. Like,
It's almost like it's been 6 years.
Yes, I know. It's like, whoa.
Whoa.
I'm getting old.
And all joking aside, I do like the some of the more mature theming, or the just the age demographic sort of aging up, which I guess makes sense because the first Camp Cretaceous came out in like 2020, or the first season, and this
Like,
is
Was it 2020?
yeah.
It was the same year I got Kevin.
I thought it was early in that, to be honest, but I thought it was like 2018, but it was 2020.
Oh dear lord, it was 2020.
And it's 4 years ago now.
I'm not old, you're old!
Camp Cretaceous is 4 years old.
I mean, 4 years doesn't sound a lot, but like between like 13 and like what, or like the target audience you can always tell is by the age of the characters in the show.
Yeah.
So they were between like 13 and like 15, 16, some of them. Plus 4 years onto that, it's between like 18 and 20 now. So,
Like, honestly, I think they've aged, like, everything has gone up. Like, the themes have gone up, the characters have gone up, everything's gone up. The only thing that hasn't gone up is how they handle the deaths, which is still cutaway.
Well,
Cutaway,
yeah,
cutaway, censor.
I have something to critique here.
Go on.
I actually preferred the deaths in Camp Cretaceous. Because in Camp Cretaceous, they had a crunch. There was a sound. There was a sound. There was a scream. But in Chaos Theory, when somebody dies, it's just silence.
But
The only thing you hear is the roar of the dinosaurs. There's no crunching of the bones. The only time there's screaming is when it's Brooklyn dying.
Isn't silence more eerie though?
Well, for the scene with Brooklyn dying, it works there because that's the whole point. But when it's something like random grunt gets swallowed whole by Beckle Spinax, then you'd expect a yum, 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 yum.
When Kenji's dad dies, the only way you can tell the Atrociraptor's sickle claw went into his head was by the music.
Yeah, that's a big. They kind of left it ambiguous. It's like there should have been like a.
Mhm.
Hang on. I can recreate the scene. Kenji, run!
Your audio just cut out.
It's just like the show.
Oh gosh, now like I had something to say about the deaths, but you went on to Kenji's dad then. I'll talk about the deaths thing. I mean, the sort of covering up the deaths, I feel that makes sense because it's still like supposed to be a child's show. Like although the adults were, even though the audience has grown up a bit, it still has that slightly more child-friendly angle to it because obviously there'll probably still be children watching, but it's still that sort of branding.
I think I just shed.
Did you?
What?
Wow.
What is that? Is that part of me?
Yes, it is.
You go bald.
He's balding.
Bald.
Ah!
My eyes.
But
My cheeks.
the reason why I'm critiquing Chaos 3 for not having those sound effects is because Camp Cretaceous had them.
Oh yeah, in terms of the sound effects, I mean, I didn't really notice that, but then again, I haven't watched Camp Cretaceous.
I'm just thinking, like, there are so many scenes. The Beckle Spinax kills, like, 4 different people.
Mhm.
And then all of them, I still don't get, like, one of them, someone is just swallowed whole. Not even chewing. It's just, why can't, and even when the aloe kills someone, why can't, they have to cut away. Why can't we just get,
The Beckle Spinax eats their clothes too. Huh. Excrements are going to become a clothes shop.
She burps and
Yeah,
just a whole
okay.
wardrobe appears.
No,
A
that's
fully
what
built
Becky's
wardrobe.
doing. That's what Becky's doing. She's not eating for food. She's expanding her wardrobe.
She's a
General
guru.
Grievous, but for clothes.
While on about Becky, since we're here, I just love how like there are 2 Beckys specifically in those episodes. I love how Becky is very aggressive and will literally just jump into a lake to kill some kids, while Brittany is just, I'm gonna take a nap. I don't care.
She didn't jump into the lake. She just
I know, but she literally pushed that van and jumped in with them.
She went for a swim.
That was not swimming. She was full on drowning.
Oh yeah.
And then immediately afterward, just shoved into the truck, and then she sees Ben, and she's like, Ben, you haven't returned my phone calls. Ben, what are you doing with my sister, Ben?
Oh, of course. That's why she's so angry at him. He isn't returning her call.
Can I also, with the drowning bit, can I say, like, I really liked, smashing into everything, I really liked, Yaz and Sammy bit in that moment. Like, obviously they will have development off screen because so much of this time has passed, but they're still changing within the show. They're still developing within the show because Sammy needs to realise that Yaz has sort of gotten over a lot of the trauma. Well, I won't say get over, that's not technically the right term. Or has recovered.
Improved. It's gotten better.
Well, it's just got better in general with mental health, and it's, I don't know. in that moment, you see Yaz sort of take more control when Sammy was sort of panicking a bit, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's great. I really enjoyed Sammy and Yaz in this, to be honest, because I feel like the relationship with Gang Cretaceous was a bit like sort of a nothing burger in a way. I don't know. I can't, to be honest, it's going off of memory, but there was like nothing. There's nothing. I don't know.
I mean, it happened at like the end of the season, so like they only had like that. They had an episode where Yaz is like coming out, and then an episode where she tries, you know, the classic, "Oh, I need to make things ready to confess," and then there's just one episode where they're like, "Oh, we're happy to be together, but we should stop being happy because everyone else is sad," and then that was about it. That was about it.
Yeah,
I can tell because I watched the episode recently.
Like I didn't really care so much about their relationship in that show, but I do care about it now in this one because they've developed it. Wow. Development.
They had a healthy relationship. Can't say the same for Kenji and Brooklyn. Brooklyn chose the phone over Kenji.
I wouldn't say they necessarily have a healthy relationship, but it is improving.
It's like a relationship, you know? It's like they're together, but they got rough edges, like any relationship.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
To be
I've
honest.
never been in one. None of us have ever been in relationships. How would we know?
Yeah, because I was about to say, I can't comment on any of this.
Well, in Camp Cretaceous, a relationship counts as just not dying.
They have a relationship with the dinosaurs, man.
I have to say,
that's
you could
bad.
say that for like 90% of relationships in the real world.
Ben's a monster fucker.
Let's move on.
He sees like Toothless and goes, Sam!
Oh, Big Ben's got moves.
No. We're moving on. We got change topics.
I really want to talk about like the tension. I mean, this is early on in the show, so I guess it somewhat makes sense to sort it. I actually really liked I guess the tension and like the chase sequences. I wasn't expecting them to be that good. Like I feel like in a lot of cases they were even better than the films.
Really?
Yes,
like I was
agree.
genuinely like
Agree.
on the edge of my seat a lot of the time.
I mean, it's mostly just the Jurassic World films, not Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Obviously, the first Jurassic Park is, I mean, will probably be the best thing that ever comes out of this franchise.
I'll expand upon what
Apart
Orca's
from Ben.
saying here. It's like because in the show, there's a lot. It's like in the movies and even the early Camp Cretaceous, it was all about dinosaur action scenes rather than suspense.
Yeah.
And then this one is mostly about just suspense. The only time we get like real dinosaur v dinosaur action is the last episode.
I was gonna say because it's like I feel like we don't really see that much like good suspense in media. Like I can't really think of out the top of my head any other shows there's like I felt like
That's
ooh,
because
that
you
was
haven't
really
been to a
suspense.
cinema in months.
I saw Godzilla vs Kong. Well, yeah. Well, I'm just saying like because I mean I do watch a lot of media anyway at home. Netflix. But as I say, like at the top of my head, I really can't think of that much like good suspenseful media, and I don't know. I was just like pleasantly surprised at that. I even got jump scared at one point from the Atrociraptor jumping through the windows initially. Oh, I mean, it's most jump scares you can see coming, and they did do a few more attempts. But obviously, I was like, obviously, I saw that a mile away. But I genuinely did see that first one coming. I was just like, oh, through the window. All right, then. It's just into it. But yeah, I really like the action or the suspenseful sequences. And I guess because of the sort of... I mean, I know they're main characters, but I feel like with Brooklyn having, like, died, I feel like it... I don't know, it felt like there could be that element of, oh, they could actually be harmed.
I mean, I knew all along they were all gonna be okay, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, it's a dangerous situation. We know they're gonna be fine, but ooh, this actually leads into my favorite scene in all of Chaos Theory,
Right.
which is Mateo's backstory. Yeah, that was done so well. Like, it's done pretty. It's explained. Actually, I'll let Indominus talk for once.
It's justified really well as well, because he's like, "Oh, I did this because I have a daughter. I have somebody to support." Therefore, justifying why he was going out of his way to do these kind of shady things because because he wants to because he of course wants to
Because he wants to support his daughter.
yes.
You don't understand. I have a little girl. That makes it okay for me to break the law. I'm not a bad guy.
But then I do question, what was the motivation of the other lot?
Money.
I mean, like,
Money,
the,
Mr. Squidward.
the two
Money.
people who shot at Ben's van, making it go into the water. How much were they being paid?
I've got to have money.
Money.
Honestly,
How
like, it's not that deep. Like, money is literally the root to all evil. So,
Yeah.
It's like, Percy, I'll pay you $10 to push someone off a cliff. Deal. Anyway, hang on. I just want to say, so Indominus, you agree that the Aloe scene the Aloe has a presence, right? Like whenever it's around, it just you know it's trouble or something.
I do think the main presence of the Aloe is when like Darius is like focusing on it and like everything like kind of fades out. Like there are multiple shots throughout the show where like it cuts between Darius and like a close up of the Aloe's eye. So the audience goes, "Oh, it's the same one," and like, and in that very specific moment, it's like, "Oh, oh,
ooh, yeah."
I just find it okay. Loop, like Life on Our Planet, also came out this year, right?
like it came out last year."
Oh,
That's so last year.
oh, but anyway, it just finds it weird that the Aloe has just been part of 2 suspenseful scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's technically the same model.
Yeah.
This Aloe is just getting all the good stuff. This Aloe's getting it good, man. He's paying well.
Sorry, there's one more thing I wanted to mention, but which is sort of linking to the show as a whole. Like, I really like the world building.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely picked up for where Dominion severely lacked. Because even they traveled across America, so we see how dinosaurs have impacted
How the world
the
is adapted
natural
to
world.
dinosaurs.
I forgot what the dinosaur was that got trapped at the gas station. It was
Nazutoceratops.
an Azutoceratops. I knew it was a Ceratopsia, but I couldn't remember which one. Yeah. Even small things like that, and the guy had to call the dino
DPW.
Yeah, the dino people who sort them out. And it's even like the small things as like they were sort of like treated in like the police in one sense, like everyone had to pull over and they went by. And I even like the fact that like you can even see like people outside their car if we just all were just recording it as they go by. I can literally just imagine a situation that just goes on social media.
I'll fully admit, I really wasn't expecting stuff like that. I was expecting it to be more like, oh, dinosaurs are out there in the world. Let's put up with it. But I wasn't expecting that to be like that. Dinosaurs to be like actively collected by the DPW, and you point this out as well. And like a part that really stuck out to me is that when there's DPW services driving by with dinosaurs, everybody has to pull to the side, like with emergency services, like ambulance, firefighters, police. And now the DPW has just become another one of those services.
I also liked the dinosaur safe zone or dinosaur free zone. I mean, it's a small
Yaz's
thing.
sanctuary.
Yeah, it's a small thing, but you could definitely see that happening, especially with like people who collect trauma from dinosaurs.
Also, something I didn't realize, like they mentioned a flower growing on that island.
Yes,
That is actually,
West Indian lilac.
which is like that was mentioned in the first movie, right?
Yeah, that was the plant that made the trike sick.
Yep. They still sneak in those little Easter eggs here and there.
That is a very cool detail.
I will say, I like this whole time watching, I didn't feel none of the Easter eggs kind of it's like at some point in Jurassic World, and like mostly in Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, where the Easter eggs were just kind of obvious that they were just referencing the old movies. And well, Camp Cretaceous didn't really do that, but this time around in like Chaos Theory, I didn't really catch if there were Easter eggs, which they probably were. I didn't catch on many of them. And then even then, I guarantee there's going to be videos saying all the Easter eggs in Chaos Theory. You see this bit where Yaz and Sammy are driving through the fog? It's a reference to when the Pteranodon comes out of the fog. Because every time there's fog in a Jurassic-centered media, it's a reference to the Pteranodons.
No way! It spells out a word! It says Jurassic very vaguely.
Oh my god, there's dinosaurs! This is a reference to Jurassic Park 1993.
Oh, look, there was a train. This is a reference to Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh my god, there are humans. This is a reference to planet Earth.
Oh, guys, there's some guy was playing tennis. That was a reference to the famous YouTuber Zane Reborn.
Well, we're talking about the world building. Is there anything more about world building that we liked?
There was just a lot of it. In fact, my brother, like I've mentioned before, my brother hates Dominion. And so when he watched this, he was just he could not stop singing its praises, especially how this thing does what Dominion didn't do, and that's why he loves it so much, as well as amongst all the other reasons we just mentioned. Like this, honestly, just watching this whole show, just seeing all the like how it matured, and they opted out for less action, more suspense, and the world building. I'm just like, I want more of this, not just for Chaos Theory, but just for the Jurassic franchise in general. I want more stuff like this.
Like, I really hope the next movie, directed by Gareth Edwards, I hope it isn't a prequel. Because, like...
Probably will be.
I want more of this!
Yeah! We want to see more dinosaurs in the world. Like, that's the thing about Chaos Theory. It's not, like, it's just taking all the things that happened. It's not retconning anything. It's just rolling with it. It's taking the world that they've been given and making a story out of it.
I feel like that's why Dominion was so disappointing in that sense. Like, Fallen Kingdom, for all its flaws, did leave the franchise off in such an interesting point, and like sort of made the world a lot more fanciful. Because like initially it was everything was a lot more isolated, but now it's like it's very interesting. You can fully absorb your world. Like, I don't know, you can imagine yourself like seeing a dinosaur out the window because of this or whatever. But that's why I was like sort of disappointed with Dominion. It's just was like they referenced to a couple of bits, but like they really just did not. They kind of just swept the whole dinosaur thing in the world under the rug a little bit.
That's why the Malta scene is the best one, because it actually acknowledges that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Malta, that's a good transition to talk about the Atrociraptors!
Yes. And the lady.
Okay. I got a question about the Atrociraptors.
I have lots of questions about the Atrociraptors.
Why is there only 3 of them? Where's Red?
I was thinking of a different question, but yes, that is another big question.
There was
Honestly,
4 containers though in the truck.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was one more container that wasn't opened on the truck.
Unless
there could be like a couple theories to that. Orca, please. There could be a couple theories to that. Like, one theory is because this show is very tight on referencing the canon, so they would not leave out Red without, there must be a good explanation for why Red isn't here just yet.
Mhm.
Like, maybe Red is like the newest addition to the squad, and they're hyping her up because she's meant to be the new Blue, which I find kind of weird because I always thought Ghost was the leader.
Yeah,
But then at
she
the same
is.
time, yeah, but then Red is like, oh, this is Blue, that one's Red. Maybe that's the kind of thing. Or maybe there's gonna be like, maybe Red is just like a little more unstable than the others, not fully trained yet, and that's why she won't come out of the truck. There's
Well,
like a bunch of
I
different
don't
theories.
think Red is actually there. I think
No, she's not.
no.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
probably
it's
it.
more of she will become an additional addition.
Well, here's the thing.
Additional addition.
We fall into the question: is this a prequel to? Is this pre-Dominion or post-Dominion?
I'm thinking pre,
I'm thinking
because
pre.
because there was even a little a little bit where Darius is looking at the conspiracy event and he sees a note saying carnivorous locusts.
Yeah.
So maybe the locusts have yet to show up, and that's
Yeah.
people theorizing.
Okay, sure, but here's the thing: when they look up Brooklyn's phone, we see the dates. The dates are after Dominion. We presume that Dominion takes place around June, so the 6th, and the most recent voicemail here was in August.
Oh. Okay then. Okay.
That does like give me a question. Does Red die at all in Dominion then?
No.
I don't
Red is
think
like
she
the
does.
Red is like the only one confirmed alive.
Yeah. Hold on. Who
I'll
was
tell you. I'll tell you
who-
right now what happened to each Atrociraptor. Hold on. Okay. Red got stuck back in the cage.
Right.
Tiger got his face slammed into like a pipe, a steel pipe. Panther tripped over the bike, and we all know what happened to Ghost.
Wait for a little paddle.
Maybe they didn't get the chance to retrieve Red because she was contained, and like the DPG took her.
I feel like that's not
Oh.
the best excuse, but I don't know. I
There's
feel like
there's
they will
gotta
do
be
something with it.
something.
If there's
But-
gotta be a reason.
I guarantee
Yeah.
there's got to be. I think they're definitely going to do something with the fourth Atrociraptor because it is quite notable that the truck did have 4 slots. Like they wouldn't have put that in if not for a reason.
And the fact that one of them is missing.
True.
Yeah. Also, that's not all with the Atrociraptors. I have so many more questions about them.
Yeah.
Like, specifically, like, before they killed Kenji's dad, they changed color.
Yeah, they mentioned this. Like, the Atrociraptors can change color now.
Like, I was confused for a second. When Tiger showed up and was white, I was like, oh, it's Ghost. But then it turns to Tiger, I'm like, wait, what? What?
I know.
It's like, what? What's going on? And then even when they said they look different, I didn't get what they meant.
Same.
It wasn't until that scene that I realized. So what is that? Is it like a camouflage thing, or is it like they have a night mode?
It does seem-
Dark mode. Light mode or dark mode.
I think what they're implying is that they do kind of camouflage into into their environment, like the Indominus, to make them more effective during assassinations.
Can I say that's like that leaves a very interesting question for Dominion. Like, was Ghost who died actually Ghost or just Tiger but in the
That it was Red who fell into the water.
It
She
was
just
Red.
looked like a ghost.
That's why it happened.
Was it really Red who got trapped in the cage or was it
I don't
Tiger
know
that
the whole
got donked
time.
on the head?
It turns out this whole time, the main Atrociraptor wasn't even in the sequence. She was just shoved into a cage.
So Ghost was Red, Red was Tiger, Tiger was... That's so confusing.
The only thing is this, as funny as that would be, I can disprove this because Red cannot change the color of her eyes. I mean, sorry, Ghost. Ghost cannot change the color. Oh no, it's happened already. I'm confusing them all.
I'm insane. It's true.
Never
the
mind. Forget
conspiracy
what I
theory.
said. It's true.
Be like Ben. Believe the theories.
So now another big question for the Atrociraptors. What the hell is the deal with that woman?
I fear no dinosaur, but that thing, it scares me.
Scares me.
Ugh. I actually
I mean, like-
counted how many times she blinked in the whole show.
I made this exact joke in my review. Like,
I know.
giant terrifying carnivore? Nah. Ultra super designed hybrid? Nah. White woman.
She has no eyebrows. Honestly, I think the perfect way to describe her stare, it's like she was made by an AI. She's AI art come to life.
Okay.
AI art isn't real. It can't hurt you. The AI art.
Do we want a full breakdown of how many times she blinked in the show?
No.
It's hard for me to call dinosaurs scary because dinosaurs are cool. If I see a cool dinosaur, I'm not going to think, oh, that's scary. I'm going to think, oh, that's cool. Which is why the Scorpius works as a scary dinosaur because it doesn't really look like your traditional dinosaur. It looks like a hodgepodge, and the way it moves is like, ugh, it's uncanny. And then when you take a human being, you have a general idea of what honestly, humans are just scary in general. You don't even have, it's not even this woman. Humans are just scary, period.
Honestly,
And not to mention how horrifying that haircut is.
But honestly, animals are probably quite more predictable than humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you like an animal, it's like if you see a bear, you know exactly what's gonna happen if you see the bear. If you see a person, you're like, even when they're acting friendly, you're like, is this a trick? Do they just want to take me somewhere? Do they want to feed me candy in the truck? Do they actually have candy in the truck?
It's an ice cream man.
Can I say, my old ice cream man actually sold weed near my school. I didn't have any. You may put some in the ice cream.
Okay, so. The woman.
Yeah.
Theories.
I have nothing, honestly. This is like this is the biggest mystery in the show. What the hell is going on with that woman? How the heck did she create such a strong bond with those raptors, so strong that it makes Owen and Blue look like a broken couple?
I think she Owen Grady'd them and literally raised them up from birth.
But it's 10 times more effective because she full on. This is like she acts like their mother, for crying out loud.
I have two. One of them is kind of a joke. Okay, so she could be a clone. Like, she could have been a genetically engineered human that perfectly interacts with you.
With the Atrociraptors.
Yes.
That's horrifying.
So basically,
honestly.
she's Captain Rex.
Yes.
Got ya.
That's like, oh man. Imagine that. It's like, that's such a lengthy process. You genetically modify this woman. You raise her up. And then specifically to raise dinosaurs.
Sorry, I'm just imagining her being raised up alongside the Atrociraptors. Her sisters are just the Raptors.
You can see like a family portrait, and it isn't of people. It's just one woman and 4 dinosaurs.
10 years later, when she gets married, all the maids of honor are just all the Atrociraptors.
The husband is sweating because the maids of honor just keep glaring at him like, don't hurt my sister. You hurt my sister, I eat you.
And then the second theory, she is Red reincarnated.
Honestly, I was thinking that too.
They took Red's soul, sucked it out of her body, put it into a human.
Do you know how we can prove that theory?
What?
How many times did Red blink in Dominion?
I mean, like,
It adds up, guys. It adds up. Red was the one who was like stalking Owen and Barry in that scene and was just slowly approaching them, and then saw Owen, how she did the trick. And when she's stuck in the cage, she's like, oh,
why don't I do
play
that?
this game?
That's what the 4th container was for. It was for her.
Someone else
Of
is driving
course.
No, Red's the driver.
I, 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 I was about to say, it turns out Red is just like it's just like an evil genius. She's behind everything. She cloned the human body. She's the broker. She's done everything.
She's Kenji's dad.
Darius and the others come into the office, and then the chair just spin. It's just Red in glasses and a lab coat.
A theory that I had while I was watching the show is that, what if these aren't the original Atrociraptors?
I was thinking that, to be honest.
I only started thinking that the moment they started changing color. Then I'm like, are we sure these are the same ones?
My thought was, it's like, what if the Atrociraptors are kind of like a Suicide Squad of dinosaurs? Where, like, they're sent out, they're probably killed, and they just have a ton in storage that they just release.
One is John Cena.
Of course. The Indominus is John Cena. Because you can't see him.
It's just Ghost. Ghost comes out and then just somehow accidentally enters the facility and sees like a million ghosts just in stasis, waiting to replace the current Ghost. And Ghost just starts having a... No, that's what happened to Red. That's why Red stopped coming, because she found the truth. She found out she doesn't matter in the slightest and started having a mental breakdown.
I mean, like, unironically, that is like a fantastic concept for like a moment in a TV show or something.
I do have a bit of a serious question, in a sense that, bouncing off of what we were saying before, like saying that they may not be the original Atrociraptors. I don't think they ever say it in the show, but like, is there any additional media, like toys in that, where they say, oh, it's Ghost, oh, it's Tiger?
The only time we hear their names is in the toys. They never say their names in the show.
Exactly, but is there like a toy that has their names on? Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking, what if this show subverted Owen and Blue from where it was a human who raised a raptor to where it was raptors who raised a human?
It's like after Malta, since we can this screenshot you showed confirms this is after Dominion, so it's like after the failure in Malta, the sisters got together, saw Red got arrested, taken away, and they're like, oh great, now what do we do? And then they just find this baby just abandoned, and they're like, behold our new sister.
No. Just change the wedding sequence instead of the maid of honors. She's given away by an Atrociraptor.
The aisle with her.
She's given away by ghosts.
Oh, my little girl's all
Let's like,
grown
I can
up.
see it now. Ghost is walking her down the aisle. Tiger is the maid of honor. Panther is just the officiator.
No, Tiger's in the corner crying with like I don't know, one of the, I don't know what.
Just grabs a handkerchief and just
Yeah.
blows into it.
Oh,
Turns
I'm
out
so
it's just
proud of
Becky's. It blows her nose. It turns out it's just Becky's dress.
Yeah, no.
And Red just doesn't show up. She's just always late to everything.
she's the absent mother. Before we leave the segment about this strange
Atrociraptors. And
woman, if you could call that a woman at this point instead of just
that
half
thing.
raptor.
It might be at this point.
Honestly.
I do want to say she blinks like 14 times in the entire show, which is not a lot, and majority of them were in literally the last episode where she was like the facade of like the staring contest that she was giving everyone sort of dropped, and she was just like, oh, my babies, and blinks all the time.
I mean, there clearly is something going on there. I mean, like, the moment that comes to me is like when she takes Panthera's head in her hands and stares straight into her eyes like they're communicating telepathically.
I know, right? it just adds so much mystery to this lady.
I mean, like, we do know that she had some way of communicating because she talked to the guy who was with her.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
she could speak human?
Maybe
But it was so softly and quietly that you wouldn't be able to catch it.
maybe it was telepathically. Maybe she wrote it. Maybe she spoke. Maybe she just squeaked raptor.
My theory is that she doesn't actually use the whistle to communicate with the raptors. She communicates with them via the stare.
She
Of
commands
course.
them with her eyes.
Of course, it's like everyone in Camp Cretaceous. The ridiculous thing they added was robots. This time, they're introducing witches and telepath.
No. It's the same technology in Dominion as, you know, the gun. You have to point the laser gun at them for them to set their target. It's in her eyeballs. She sets the target in her eyeballs. She has lasers out of her eyeballs.
She's a cyborg.
Add it onto that theory pile. She's a cyborg raptor raised with raptors.
Okay, I think that's enough for the Atrociraptors. Otherwise, this video is just gonna be white woman and raptors family.
Yeah.
Also, I like that you say white woman. I just immediately think of like a stereotypical white woman with like an Instagram. Just like,
No. She doesn't use Instagram. We use Dark Jurassic in this universe.
She posts selfies on Dark Jurassic afterwards. Like, you can see the Atrociraptors like behind her, like making a pose, and you just see a corpse in the background.
Me and the girls out for lunch.
And she's holding like a finger.
Just woke up.
No, after Brooklyn's death, they just hold her severed hand and say, delicious. Love the flavor.
Rise and grind, girls. We have to hunt human.
Okay, moving on. So onto this screenshot you sent saying this basically confirms this after Dominion, right?
Yeah, because the year is last, the month is second, the day is first. I saw people on Twitter discussing this, and they thought it was year, day, month, because they're stupid Americans.
They are stupid Americans.
You can even see it under his finger. The third one begins with a 2. There isn't 20 months in a year.
Excuse me. In this world, there could be. It's never been established that there's been 12 months of the year.
I mean, it hasn't.
So, like, now that you've confirmed that this is after Dominion, this kind of blows the theory my brother and I came up with a theory last night that season 2 would, like, I don't know, somehow the boat would go to, like, Biosyn and we'd end up seeing some of the Biosyn dinosaurs. But now I've seen this and I'm like, no, that's not going to be the case anymore. We're not going to see the Giga. Giga's dead. Giga's not showing up in the show.
I mean, we could
Here's
see
the thing.
the aftermath of Biosyn a bit more, surely.
We wouldn't be able to go to Biosyn even if it was open, because
Oh,
Biosyn
that's right.
isn't-
There's no water or anything.
Yeah, it's surrounded by like miles upon miles of cold mountains.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So that theory's dumb. Just hang on. Let me get the scissors.
Although
I'll just cut myself out of the video.
Although we may discuss it later when we discuss who the big bad might be.
Dotson! Dotson! It's Dotson over here! See, nobody
We
cares.
can rule out Dotson. Dotson got killed by Dillos. He asked them for food and they did not deliver.
Dotson! It's Dotson!
I mean,
it's
like-
a pilot over here. It's Dotson.
This could just be a consistency issue, and this really could just be like pre-Dominion, and Red hasn't been born yet. And
So
maybe,
back to
Dodson is the big bad here.
Did you...
But it. Go on.
I was going to say, did you say it was assumed that Dominion happened during July? Or was it actually confirmed? Or June?
We assume it's happening during June because that's when the movie released.
I mean, I mean, it's a safe bet, but it's still technically not confirmed.
I know, but that's why I'm saying this.
Yeah. So
You see how this is like a mystery type of show-esque kind of thing. So like everything is on purpose. These dates mean something.
I think it just
maybe
I've
not.
I've watched over 1,000 episodes of Detective Conan. I know what I'm talking about.
I don't
Sure.
think this is the equivalent of Detective Conan. I was going to say these.
You couldn't even say it.
No, these dates symbolize the desperateness of Darius.
Of us.
Oh yeah.
we were not Darius. We're the Dino nerds calling Brooklyn here.
Yeah.
Come back to the show, please.
All our phone calls to Brooklyn was like, "Hey Brooklyn, your haircut was terrible, but I'm glad it now looks good."
Also, I know your voice actor became like rich and famous and whatnot, and probably wouldn't do the show, but like, could you come back, please?
Yeah, because this is something we haven't discussed. What do you think of the replacement of 2 voice actors?
So Kenji was recasted. I could tell the
Yes.
for Kenji, I could tell right away that it's not the same. I know Hiro's voice. That was not it.
Here's the thing. I couldn't tell that it wasn't Kenji's voice actor because it's been ages since I've watched Camp Cretaceous.
Same.
And like whenever I did notice a slight difference, I was thinking the voice actor is probably doing that because it's an older version of the character. But no, I was just wrong.
I eventually caught on. It was not Hiro's voice because, like, I'm still embarrassed that my first time watching Camp Cretaceous, my brother had to point out it was Hiro's voice, and I'm like, oh, what? But that's a character I know very well. How the heck did I not recognize the voice right away? So, but this time around, I could tell. No, that ain't him. On the other hand, Brooklyn, I could not tell the difference. I had
Same.
no idea that wasn't Wednesday. Whoever they hired, bang on top job.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Here's the thing.
All women sound the same. That's what you kind of just said.
Here's the thing. Was the voice actor like doing an impression of Brooklyn, or did they just sound similar?
Hey, Brooklanders! Oh my god!
Whatever the case is, just props to them. And I'm also like, it's like, you were right about everything, Indominus. It's like,
I know.
Not only was that, did they recast her, but that thing about them looking for a disabled voice actor was all correct. It was 100% Brooklyn coming back with a missing arm.
I predicted that, maybe voice actor with a missing arm is the new voice actor for Brooklyn. And I
Sorry.
won't lie, I kind of laughed that off afterwards. But like, no, that's what actually happened.
I'm like, oh my gosh, the joke came true.
Sorry, I wanted to I had something with the voice actors.
Go on.
I knew why Brooklyn was recast, but why was Kenji recast?
Originally, the voice actor for Kenji was in talks to do it, but he opted out because he didn't believe he was being paid enough.
No.
Right. Okay.
And apparently, at first, they did try to get Jenna Ortega, the voice actor for Brooklyn,
Yeah.
onto the show. So that means they tried to contact her before she blew up. So that means that previously, before Wednesday released, she said no to returning.
Did they say they contacted her before she blew up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no. They contacted her. If they did say that they did contact her, but the casting for the disabled voice actor was like quite a while before the voice actor blew up.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't say
So,
she's technically a voice
that
actor.
means-
She's been in quite a few things even I've seen before Wednesday.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, that is interesting. But I guess it's just small budget animated show, and they just
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, you say small budget, but then the show looks like Camp
It's
Cretaceous
gorgeous.
already looked good. But then when you get to Chaos Theory, chef kiss.
I know, like, it looks good, like, this isn't exactly cinema level quality, but I wouldn't mind watching this in a theater.
I know, yeah. It looks great. And like you said in your video, especially the lighting.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm like, you compare this to the Nine Realms.
Like when they reintroduce Yaz, her trauma, her little flashback thing, her PTSD. All the angles and the shots and the lighting, it's the same models, but they look so much better. Even though they probably didn't change them at all. Basically, standards for TV animation has really gone up.
I think it has.
And I mean, like,
you can't get away with stuff like that Megamind movie anymore.
do you think? I hope the other seasons look as good as this, because like they do release in quite quick succession because Netflix. So like, I hope the visual quality doesn't go down because of that.
I don't think we have to worry that much because even when Camp Cretaceous was being released, like, I think I remember, Season 1 came out in, like, September, the same week I got Kevin. And then Season 2 was, like, in May or something? It was May, right? Yeah, so that's a long way away. I remember it was May because I remember thinking, oh, it's releasing in March. Oh, wait, I got May and March mixed up. It's in May. So yeah, that was in May. That's a pretty significant gap, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, in all honesty, it's like once a studio has set an animation style, or it's not so much style, but like a certain standard of quality for the show, they tend not to change it. It's different in different circumstances, like anime, for various reasons. But I think for most Western productions, the like animation quality, unless for like very specific reasons, tends to be quite consistent. We don't even know if we're going to have a faster release schedule like Camp Cretaceous yet.
Yeah, it might be like 6 months between seasons as far as we know.
That's gonna be an agonizing amount of time to wait. But I understand why. But at the same time, it's agonizing. But I understand. But it's agonizing. But I understand. But it's agonizing. So what are your thoughts on Brooklyn just being alive in the end?
They did just confirm that, didn't they? I was expecting them to hold it out a little bit longer.
Yeah. I'm like, I was kind of hoping that she would be dead because it's like, ooh, so they're not really gonna dedicate themselves to it.
Also,
but due to it being revealed at the end of the season, that does make it clear that, ooh, she was never really dead to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like consequences, man.
Yeah. It's like we all saw. Let's be honest. We all saw this coming. We knew that she was we all kept saying she's not dead unless there's a body. Unless we actually see her getting swallowed, we won't believe she's dead. And then hey, we were right.
Although this does actually, like, I guess, work with the setup in terms of at least there'll be some follow-ups to what was set up in terms of Darius falling in love with Brooklyn. So there's going to be that romantic rivalry thing, which...
Oh, dear God.
I don't think so. I don't. Nah, Kenji broke up with her. I'm pretty sure we're not going to go back to that. We're not going to... Nah.
I'm not overly looking forward to that.
If anything, Kenji's when they find out Brooklyn's alive, Kenji's going to be, like, ticked off.
Yeah.
Did you see how, like, the whole season, he was just ticked off with Darius. He's going to be absolutely livid when he finds out Brooklyn's alive.
But not gonna lie, I'm surprised they sort of eventually brought it up, because I feel like, I don't know if it was hinted at or if it was just me, but I feel like you could sort of tell that Darius liked Brooklyn even in Camp Cretaceous.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, same.
I thought the chemistry was stronger between those two than it was between her and Kenji.
But like romantic rivalry stuff or like weird like breakups or, well, to be honest, it's just a love triangle and they always sort of suck.
Yeah.
So I'm not really looking forward to that aspect. there's also with her connection with Kenji's dad and whatever she's doing with a crap ton of money in a secret apartment and all the mystery around that sort of stuff. What was she buying an Allosaurus?
I'm pretty sure she's just becoming a spy to get into the business and take it down from the inside. That's basically it.
I feel like that does get a little bit ridiculous. Like, she went from YouTuber to, like, journalist to CIA agent. She went from Mr. Beast to, like, a BBC journalist to Johnny English.
I do have something else to complain about Brooklyn.
Go on.
It's like, it's not even that she's alive that made me the most angry. Can you guess what made me the most angry?
Her hair still sucks.
It sucks so badly.
What?
How did she go from, like, okay, it was in Camp Cretaceous, it's just like, that's the haircut we're used to. And then she gets a terrible haircut like at the end. Then she improves her haircut in Chaos Theory throughout the show. And then back to terrible haircut. Whoever her barber is, fire them.
Her barber was the Allosaurus.
Blind in one eye. Couldn't quite see.
She was cutting her hair and accidentally cut her arm off.
Is that why the Allosaurus didn't actually like fully ate Brooklyn, because like couldn't see out one eye and thought they did?
Of course, that's why.
They
She's the one-eyed barber.
They just missed.
Ran away because those were the hecklers. You gave us bad haircuts. Get back here. Darius is chasing it down because he wants a haircut, not realizing the truth. Even in the last episode, from the way Cabrera, which is the boss, was talking, he basically said, like, I think he confirmed that it wasn't the Allo who killed Brooklyn, that it was actually the Atrociraptors.
What if this whole time we're coming up with these theories for Red, but what if Red just went into a different field? What if
she was a bit late to every encounter? She went into the field opposite Bumpy's and was like, "Where is everyone?"
I don't mean a grass field. I mean like a job field. The others became assassins. She became a talk show host.
I prefer that she's just completely incompetent.
She's become a stand-up. She's become a stand-up comedian.
Oh yes.
Welcome to Midnight Talks with Reddy. Are you ready for Red?
Proceeds to get cancelled.
Like, we just realized that a bunch of our made-up theories came true, and now what if we're doing it again? We're making up all these theories, and all of a sudden they come true.
Imagine if it turns out that the woman was actually raised by raptors.
Imagine that.
Imagine.
One of our theories has to come true.
Yeah.
I mean, a few.
The odds are.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, I was going to say, statistically, the odds are in our favour. I kind of wanted to talk about Kenji's dad. Yeah, I guess...
You can do it now.
Yeah, I guess it's somewhat related with Brooklyn. Like, he has a mystery thing going on, but he, like, died before anything happened. Hang on. I want to take credit for this bit of actually, like, somewhat predicting that Kenji's dad was going to be involved.
What are we doing?
I knew he was going to be in prison for the short time. Can you guys stop eyeballing the camera?
No!
Okay? I want to take credit for something. I'm like, I predicted.
Okay,
Go on. Take
your time for real this time.
You have everything else.
Credit.
Don't just predicted like the main mystery. I just wanted to say, Kenji's dad is alive. Not anymore.
And also, I predicted the T-Rex being Big Edie.
Oh, no, we're gonna get back to that later.
But anyway, yeah, I did have a feeling Kenji's dad was gonna be somewhat involved, but I didn't think they would just do him dirty like that, to be honest. But like, I did find it interesting in the sense, like, there's still gonna be mystery around it, but I did like the moment with Kenji.
Mhm.
Like, I think Kenji's definitely gone up there in terms of character. Like, I don't think,
Yeah.
like, I, I thought he was okay in Camp Cretaceous, but like, I don't know, the
But now
deepest
he's
part
like,
of him
he's
is like,
become,
oh, I have a rich dad and I have rich people problems, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
so
he's
hard.
basically, he's grown up into a fine young man with his own,
Yeah.
with a nice successful business if he just sets his heart to it, which he is, which unfortunately comes at the cost of him being Indominus's favorite character because he's no longer funny.
He doesn't talk about the mermaids anymore.
He grew up, he passed the phase, he broke up with Ariel.
He doesn't talk about chilling with a Scorpius Rex on an airplane.
Yeah, but it came at, yeah, I mean, he directed to con pun. It's up using his last name as a pun.
I'll be fully honest, I didn't really get the pun until just now.
You
I
forgot
thought it
his
was-
name was Con?
I was just like, why is it can't? Have it just be like can, but replace the C with a K. I didn't get it the whole time until just now with you.
This is what happens when you don't watch the previous Camp Cretaceous, because in the last season, they say Con, like, non-stop. They're constantly, the campers don't stop complaining about the Con name, Kenji talks about the Con name, and then Daniel Con, except for some reason he pronounces it as Cone.
I can't get over. His name's just Daniel. When they're in Broken's apartment, Darius is listening for people who have profited off the dinosaurs. He goes like, Hammond, Mezzarani, Daniel!
Well, it'd be
a
kind-
random
I mean,
guy named
Kenji-
Dan.
Kenji was right in the other room, so like, it would be kind of insensitive for him to say Con.
I wanted to say more about with Kenji's dad and Kenji. They expanded obviously upon their relationship, and he obviously had daddy issues and with that. But from there, he wanted to do his sort of own thing, and he was estranged from his father. But you could tell there was something there because he was obviously close by. I don't know. You can never really sever that like dependency.
It's like, I think I get it. It's like, I want nothing to do with you, but I don't want nothing to do with you.
I think it's more of like because he's sort of so used to being grown up, sort of rich. It's like the idea. I don't know. This just could be a completely stupid interpretation.
I think it's like a.
But I feel like he still
like-
has that dependency on his father in some way. But now that he passed away, like obviously they were estranged emotionally and been connected. I think there was a bit when they sort of maybe realized they could rebuild their relationship a little bit, and then he
It was kind of like at the end where like when Kenji was like, you know what, I'm done. I want nothing to do with you. And Danny boy is like, wait, hold on, son, don't go yet. Just stay a little longer, please.
yeah.
No more deals. I'll tell you everything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like he was treating his relationship with his son like a business, and then sort of caved
When
in.
he
and
realized
he does just want
Yeah,
to
he
spend
realized
time
he
with
wasn't
his
in control
son.
anymore.
Yeah, and then I do find the moment really sad. I really like the sequence in the car when he just has a panic attack, and then it like
Yeah.
like is in the moment. It's like the shock, like. You're in shock initially, and then that's when it really sunk in. And I don't know, I just liked how that was done. But this is where in the show is like because there's that more mature or target audience. That's where they can sort of dive into a little bit more of that aspect, and I love it. That's why I think I enjoyed this over Camp Cretaceous. Do you have any theories on Kenji's dad? I'm kind of curious if you have any.
I'm thinking
He's red.
he probably wasn't involved in this thing.
I think he was.
I'm thinking okay. So I'm gonna go first since mine is shorter. I'm thinking he's a red herring. Like something else is involved, and they're just throwing him in there to make us think it was him, but in reality, it was something else.
But then why would Broken visit him?
Because she was
And the
curious.
car... and the card about them doing business together.
And
But then,
did you see
well,
that?
that
stack
didn't
of
confirm
cash?
it was him. That was just
Kenji said it was his dad's handwriting.
no. He said it was just his initials, DK.
No, he said he said it was his handwriting.
I'm gonna find out right now.
There was also that big stack of cash as well, which was used to buy the Allosaurus, wasn't it?
I'm
Well-
gonna find out exactly what he says.
Well, we don't know what the money was for. Buying the Allosaurus was.
Okay, Shush, I'm finding out, please.
We
Wait,
know that's not true now.
wait,
Okay, hold on. I'm about to find out. Oh wait, no, you're right. He said it. That's his dad's handwriting.
I think Kenji's dad wanted to frame Brooklyn's death, and obviously she was in with it as well.
But for all we know, DK could stand for Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's the bad guy.
It was Donkey Kong the whole time.
Okay, now we just, after Red reveals that she was in charge the whole time, she says, I was not alone. They turn around, and from the shadows comes Donkey Kong.
He comes into the Donkey Kong rap.
Voiced by Donkey Kong voiced by Seth Rogen.
I feel like which does sort of lead into like an interesting like speculation in a sense. Like, why would Brooklyn want to fake her own death? Or even if Kenji's dad's death was even purposeful, like was that actually genuinely an accident, or did he plan that?
I don't think he planned it, but I think the big boss did attempt to. Actually, no. Yeah.
Okay. What happened? If you're talking about that night,
Please, just let me finish, please. The big boss wanted to kill her, and she took advantage of the situation because she realized that if she digs deeper into this, she may accidentally drag the others into it. So she pretended to die, so her friends wouldn't be dragged into it. Only for them to be dragged into it.
Exactly. She should have known better that by now the camp fam sticks together. If she gets involved in something dangerously stupid, they're also gonna jump into that dangerously stupid scenario.
I just really hope they have a good enough reason why she would fake her own death, because to be honest, it's like, if that is true and they don't have a good enough reason, I feel like that would be quite a big issue with the show.
It's a cop-out. They couldn't kill off their main characters. Jurassic World still can't kill off anyone unless they're a mercenary or a big bad guy.
That is true. But that aside, with not dealing with consequences, but like the whole mystery and she is alive, and then the excuses of why they had this big mystery in the first place, if that falls apart, that will be definitely a sort of ruin.
A deal breaker.
Yeah, for the show.
Okay, so on to the actual important stuff. The dinosaurs.
Yeah! We basically...
We're just getting onto them now.
Okay, which one? We talked about the Atrociraptors. We talked about the Allosaurus. Any other things? What other species were introduced? Did we finish talking about Becky?
Well, we did touch upon her. Like, Becky exists.
I'm sorry, we did what?
There
That's
was
right. We established Orca has beef with Becky.
there was a second red one, who I personally like to call Ruby, but
There's a red
No,
one? Where?
no.
the second one is the red one.
Oh.
The second one is brunette or whatever. What was it called?
No, the first one is brunette.
No.
Brunette is green.
No. Our head canon overtakes real canon, okay?
Sure.
The main one's called Becky, and the other one's the name of the toy, okay?
I thought we established their names were Becky and Bridget.
Sorry, I only saw Ben in that scene, so...
Honestly,
there was other campers?
There is a third Becky, actually. Like, in the last episode, or maybe episode 9, in one of the cages, there was another Becky.
Oh yeah,
Wouldn't that be the same one?
and there's also one that was in the pen.
We could just
That-
establish that
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 ate
was
the
one.
guy.
That could have just been Becky or Bridget, just transported to the pen.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a question with that.
Go on.
They did something to the dinosaurs.
No, they didn't.
Why were they like, just don't care, still don't care, still don't care, especially when there was a Carno there.
Because they just didn't. They don't care.
They
aren't monsters.
Like, stampede alert, and then that was it. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like there
it's
was...
a joke. It's funny.
Oh, like I thought they was like actually trying to like lead to something, and especially with I think what fooled
Same
me.
here.
I don't think they are.
The thing that fooled me is because at that precise moment where they're like, "Oh, these dinosaurs are kind of acting weird," or even though it was a joke, is that it was something weird was going on with Bumpy as well, and they thought,
Yeah.
"Oh no, they did something to Bumpy," and we thought, "Oh, what they did to Bumpy was the same thing they did to the other dinosaurs," and that just confused me.
No, because Bumpy's laying an egg.
I know,
That's why she was
I
acting
know
up.
the reveal that it was that, but like it was the coincidence of all those segments happening once that made me thought that there was actually something going on with those dinosaurs. And to be honest, with the track record of these shows, that's not too far fetched considering they had mind control.
I think it's just a funny joke.
It could.
I'm honest.
Could be.
I'm leaning in with Orca on this one. I'm thinking that's saying something. They probably they fed them something to act more passive. And they probably did the same thing with the carnivores because Becky only really attacked when the guy just shoved the gun up her face. Because Becky was just staring at him and like, eh. And then she got attacked. And then she got bonked on the nose and she's like, oh, that's it. That's personal now. Yum.
Although I do have a feeling if they were going to do that, it feels a bit weird because they sort of already done something like that with, dinosaurs they're doing something to dinosaurs. Like they're sort of retreading on that plot line, and also I don't think you could really evolve from the mind control out like playing them like video games.
We do find out the fate of Madacop Island,
Ooh, yeah.
which is that it got taken by the government essentially.
And then they only saved Bumpy because no one else matters.
Actually, I do have a question though. Well, no, I think they had like an espionage mission. I remember them saying that they didn't I think they snuck back onto the island or something.
Well, here's the thing. Even if they did just get Bumpy, something happened because Big Edie's there.
That leads me into my next question. How do we know that's Big Edie?
They
did
say
did
it's
say
Big
it.
Edie.
But then the way Darius responded to that sentence, it's a little weird.
No, it's not.
But it's like the sentence was okay. I remember it was like this. Kenji said, "Is that Big Edie?" And then Darius says, "No, that's not the Rex from Nublar." And then they respond with, "Where did you come from?" I thought that sentence structure was very weird.
But it's all true though. Like it's not from Nublar.
Yeah.
And where did it come from? Could allude to like they either like they knew
She was
something
on
happened
Madacop
to
Island. Where did
Madacop.
she come from?
Yeah.
Anyways, Suchomimus.
Oh yeah.
It was in there for 5 seconds. It didn't need to be there.
I did find that a little bit disappointing, but I liked that it was there.
I'm kind of on the opposite side, where it's like, usually when they introduce dinosaurs, it's like every carnivore has to be like they get this big episode to shine the spotlight. And then like herbivores can just be like, they show up, they make them just to be in the background and whatnot. But then this time it's like, it's kind of rare. We get to see them just make. Like they could have easily said, oh, we could just make this baryonyx or something. But no, they took time to model a new dinosaur and put it in that scene just to be a background dinosaur. So I see that as dedication.
But as far as we know, it may be featured heavily in a later season.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
But for now,
I was thinking that like I think there is going to be a thing later with it. I don't think it's just going to show up, especially because like budgeted animation tend to reuse models.
okay, Indominus, did you know Suchomimus was going to be in Chaos Theory?
Yes.
Oh, dang it. So then, when did you find out?
Trailer.
What?
It was in the trailer.
Was that the
It
big
wasn't-
dinosaur that
No,
was
it
like
wasn't.
leaked on your Discord server?
No, I don't think.
He means my Discord server.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that we
know.
were talking about in the previous.
Yes. They were
Really?
talking about they were talking about Suchomimus.
Really?
Yes. Someone said, "Hooray, Suchomimus is in the show." And I asked, "Where's your source?" And another guy responded, apparently the Twitter trailer was different. So that was my only evidence that Suchomimus was in the show. They did not post any pictures of it though. So my first time seeing Suchomimus, thankfully, was in that episode.
I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it in the trailer.
It was not in the trailer.
I remember seeing it in the trailer.
It was not in the trailer.
I know the exact shot.
You said that Becky in the Moonlight was also in the trailer.
Yes.
I watched the trailer so many times. I did not see it.
The exact shot of Becky breaching the water. I have seen that before in a trailer.
Which trailer are you talking about?
A trailer. I don't know.
So then, okay, send a link. Show me
I
right
can't
now.
send a link. I don't know why it is.
You edit
I
it in the
can't.
video.
I can't go out of my way to track down a trailer I watched like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Just add it in the video.
Yeah.
Just edit it in the video.
I don't know if I'll be able to find it.
Well,
All I know,
what's your source,
Oh,
bro?
I know for certain. I can see it in my head. I know for certain, for an absolute fact. I saw the Suchomimus and Becky breaching the water long before the show released.
What's your source, bro? I made it the fuck
Me.
up. I made it the fuck up.
I am my source.
Maybe it just means I'm less active on the internet than you two are.
I imagine
Yes.
if it's true that the Twitter trailer was true. Did you watch it first on Twitter?
I can't remember. That's why I can't tell you.
I think you did.
That had to be the case then. Because that's the only way I can think of you seeing the Suchomimus and Becky when I didn't.
I do slightly have the same problem with the Pachyrhinosaurus. I mean, like, I'm happy it's there, but I just wish it did more.
I mean,
I think honestly I was in the same boat with you in that.
something that really surprised me. The appearance of Nazutoceratops.
Yeah,
That took me by surprise. I
I
said
know.
out loud, what?
that was my big surprise of the dinosaur species in the show.
Yeah, because I thought
Honestly,
they would have
yeah,
only had
same.
like the one Ceratopsian, or at least reference a previous one.
I also just actually while on about that, the spectre of the Suchomimus. I just love how it just grabs a para and then Ace basically shows up and tackles him.
Yeah, it's practically Ace.
Ace was in. Wait, hold on. Hey guys, I did it! I made it into the Jurassic canon.
And we have to talk about this.
We
have to talk about-
talking to.
We have to talk about the King Dino. Because at first I was like, it's a parody of the Tiger King. So I was like, shouldn't you really switch King and Dino around and have it be Dino King? And like, no joke, I had the biggest smile on my face, but when I thought that, my face just dropped. The mere thought of Dinosaur King ruined my day.
Oh my god. Oh my. Ah, I didn't know we made it that miserable for you.
No, mate. You two were the highlight of it.
Can I say there's a whole I just realised there's a whole conspiracy with Ace and Becky going on somewhere. Remember your quote? What? Do your quote again? From
Well, you know, Becky's my ex-wife and all. So like, it was. I told her it was this big. She didn't like that, and she broke up with me for bad.
We know who Becky is now.
Bum bum bum.
Becky was a Becco Spinax the whole time.
The
You
law.
see
The law.
Okay, that's what. This is why I broke up with Becky. She decided she wasn't happy being a Carnivorous and had herself genetically modified into a Becco
Zane.
Spinax.
Zane, you have to get a Becco Spinax toy now so you can, so you can reunite them.
Yes. No, don't, no. I'm gonna talk to your mom, and she's gonna put I'm gonna cancel your credit card or something. No, I'm buying it. I'm getting that pickle spot. Like, I wanted it before, but now I really want it. No, I'm gonna bury you with rocks before you do. You have no control over the situation. You don't own my wallet. I'm gonna steal your wallet and bury it in rocks, and you can't buy anything. Yeah, I'm gonna get his girlfriend back.
I love the idea how you have like this tiny Carl and then like a pretty big Becky.
Hey, I mean, he likes big women, I guess.
I've seen a size. I just watched a review this morning. The Beckel Spinix is about the size of the Hammond Collection Carno.
Oh,
That's gonna be an episode of Sodor's Dinosaurs. Carl's wedding.
Make sure you include the white women and all their.
Actually...
Make sure you include the white women with all their Atrociraptors in the background as well.
Yeah, thank you for these ideas, guys. I was worried I would never be able to come up with another episode for Sodor's Dinosaurs, but thanks to you guys, I got more ideas.
You're welcome.
you can just riff off the Dinosaur King stuff.
Stinky?
Oh, Bumpy. She had an egg.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say we kind of covered Bumpy in all honesty.
But
we didn't really cover her.
I do want to say,
But did we really cover?
on the boat at the end, they're handing eggs. One of the eggs in the box is Bumpy's.
Oh,
So that means, is this gonna be another rescue the egg situation?
But I don't know. It could be like a reused model situation, but like
Could be.
he
that's another
specifically
thing.
said make sure that Ankylosaurus and egg is fine. And if he doesn't go on his word with Ben, I'm gonna have a serious conversation with that man.
He swims after the ship just to get the egg back.
Come back here! I need to prove myself.
I'm pretty sure that was just a different egg. I think Bumpy, I feel like that egg is gonna be safe. And then at like, I don't know, season 5 or whatever, the egg finally hatches and we get a brand new baby Bumpy.
Okay,
Gotta sell those. We grew up Bumpy. We gotta resell those Bumpy toys. Name it something else.
Bumpy Jr.
Speckles.
Okay, that's the thing, Indominus. Like when Kenji said, "It's got speckles," my heart sank. I was like, "No, don't you dare! Don't you dare name it Speckles!" That's like, okay. So there are 2 deal breakers for this show: a poor excuse for Brooklyn being alive, and naming the new baby Speckles. They're gonna get into a lawsuit. Like the epic Dino King just gets into a lawsuit with Jurassic World for stealing their main character. When did you realize that Bumpy was actually laying an egg?
When Ben said move the tail.
Yeah, me too. The same there. The moment he said move the tail, I'm like, baby time.
I realized when, like, I think Sammy. I can't quite remember the scene, to be honest, but I think it was like
Sammy, like the moment Bumpy starts slapping her tail on the ground, Sammy's like, "Wait a minute, I know what's going on."
Yeah, I think it's when Sammy was like, "What?" and I was like, "What?" Bumpy was like,
now-
"What?" and then out popped an egg.
Even bigger question. Who's the father?
It can't really be a character we've already established, have we?
Of course not.
It's just an
Who
ultimate
is this
Raj.
Mr.
It's just a male version of. It's just a male version of Sammy with her like one Ankylosaurus and a female bear. And
The
a
father
female,
is a human.
yeah, and the female bear that visits them occasionally and loves the Ankylosaurus. It's just a complete alternate, gender swapped alternate universe.
Like, just imagine. Like, the moment this happened, my brother said, "Tank is a grandma." The baby needs to be purple.
Sorry, are you actually going to be theorizing like who Bumpy's father was in the actual show?
Nah. It's honestly
just
one
gonna
of
be
those.
random Anky.
It's just gonna be one of those gray ones that we see in all over Camp Cretaceous.
Hmm.
We probably won't
I mean,
even
we
meet him.
We could give it, or it could be asexual reproduction.
No. Sammy specifically said, while she was escaping, she got together with Mr. Ratosaurus.
So why did we see it? I mean, they set up that she was escaping, but we didn't see any other ankylosaurus around that area. So they really...
Yeah.
I don't think they set that up too well.
Because they wanted Bumpy to be the sole focus of the scene.
Yeah, but I still think...
And I guess
Because
that
that would have been
like
good foreshadowing if they had, like, other ankylosaurus around that area. Even in the background or something.
Then in that case, why wouldn't the man target every single Anky and not just Bumpy?
Carl just goes on an
But then
Anky
it just leads to the question,
killing
was
spree.
there actually ankylosaurus around that area?
It probably was, and it just moved on.
Moved on. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I think they could have set it up a bit better, but alright.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
No, there is definitely more dinosaurs. I'm just trying to remember.
Major. Where's Major?
And more importantly, where's Minor?
Exactly.
Well, where's the character we made up?
Where's the we need to get our money's worth of that drawing Indominus made.
Quick, reuse the asset now.
Okay, so actually, from another YouTuber I watched, I do think that Major was just released early. I think something must have happened. Like, there must have been a communication error where they said, these are all the new dinosaurs, but instead of Suchomimus, they accidentally put Majungasaurus with the name. And that's how Mattel ended up making the Majungasaurus toy first without realizing, and then by the time they figured out it was the Suchomimus that's in this season, it was too late.
Or maybe they just released Major early in anticipation for season 2.
Very early, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It might have just been a production mistake or something.
Or it could just be a toy thing because they don't name Brunette in the show yet.
Yeah, that's a thing, yet.
Actually,
And
sorry.
actually, that being said, the toy itself doesn't have a name.
Does it not?
It's just Beckel's epic roaring or something Beckel Spinax. There is another dinosaur that I keep trying to bring up, but I keep forgetting every time Indominus brings up another one.
Sorry, go on.
The Parasaurolophus Lux.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time we see them in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we see them at night and they're glowing. This is the first time we see them with the glowing off.
Mm-hmm. They still they look weird. Well, they look weird with the glow off, in my opinion.
I thought they just looked like normal Parasaurolophus.
Nah, to me, I still very clearly saw the purple on them. It's just that the light was switched off.
Yeah, that's kind of a... I think I prefer, like... I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Jurassic World Alive does it better. Where in the day, it's just a regular, boring green para. But then at night, it becomes purple.
I would say the same thing, but instead of Jua, I would say Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Yes, actually, yeah, that's an even better example, honestly, because the one in Jua is ugly. The ones in Jurassic World Evolution, those are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, it's like when the waterfall scene happens and the pairs are all starting to glow, I really feel for Kenji because like Brooklyn's just too busy on her phone. It's like dude's trying his best and Brooklyn's just not there for him. Poor dude. Kenji just suffers so much this season.
I will fully say, I think the actual shot of the scenery that Kenji's appreciating, I think it looks ugly. Like, there's too much browns and orange. Like, everything blends together.
Imagine I'm doing the same thing. What Zane's doing. Excuse me, what?
Shouldn't an unbeliever?
Non-believer. It was a beautiful sunset. The lovely multicolored blow.
Just dunking on Kenji's beautiful scenery. Just saying, ooh, it's ugly.
Ugly. It was
Brooklyn,
beautiful.
Brooklyn.
How dare you? Honestly. You're literally Brooklyn in this scenario.
I'm not.
Yes, you were on your... I saw you on your phone earlier.
Yeah, because I didn't care about Ben. Well, I do, but I didn't care about you first and over him.
You said he's your favorite character and you don't care about him?
I do care about him. I just don't want to. I don't want to sit there and listen to Orca first over a animated character for 30 minutes.
Have I mentioned that I've touched grass in the last 3 days?
Sure.
I could ask what happened to Little Edie, but honestly, I'm just asking what happened to any dinosaur at Manticore Island.
Toro, I need to see Toro again.
I need, like, hurry up and make the grown-up versions of the Spinoceratopses. They, like, Dewey's done it, Jua's done it, I've done it.
I do want to add a small comment. What do you used to think of the score? Because I thought the soundtrack was fantastic.
I need this OST. I will listen to it.
Great.
I love it so much.
You could tell me that these scores came from the movies, and I would believe you.
This is like.
This will probably take.
Be very careful what you're saying next, Orca.
Ooh. This is a thing that needs to be. This is like a very. Hang on. This seems like a second watch type thing, because to be honest, I did not pay attention to the score at all. I'm sure it is great. I just didn't remember it, but it's one of those. I was so focused on the story and everything else, and a specific certain character.
Okay.
I won't mention names. But I think in a second watch where we're like, oh, I like this detail. Oh, I like this setup. Oh, I like this music.
Okay, we'll cut him some slack there. He's only watched it once. He hasn't had time to fully appreciate the beautiful and just suspenseful music.
I'm not a nerd like you guys.
On the first time around.
Yeah, well, Orca's not like us, remember?
I'm special and always have to take a couple of viewings to like fully absorb something. Which isn't really good for this sort of thing we're recording for.
Okay, Indominus, I got a serious question. Did Camp Cretaceous release its OST? Ever?
No.
No, that means they won't do it for Chaos Theory.
Yeah.
The end credits specifically. I was when every episode ends, I keep expecting the usual Jurassic Park theme to show up, but then nope, it's this suspenseful music.
I know. I was going to say, I did watch the first episode early because somebody uploaded a screening of it on Roblox. Because
Roblox.
You can tell because you can tell because like halfway through the episode, a player dressed as Brooklyn like jumps on the screen.
just like the Alice, just a Roblox.
Oh, Brooklyn's alive!
Brooklyn's alive! There she is! In very blocky form.
She got some serious plastic surgery.
and for the end credits, they used the Camp Cretaceous one. No artwork, just the credits and the music from Camp Cretaceous.
Did they literally just steal like Camp Cretaceous, like the credits of a Camp Cretaceous episode and throw it on there?
I wouldn't be surprised if like putting the concept art at the end was like one of the last minute additions.
Yeah, I was about to say. I imagine that was probably like one of the last things they do. I imagine like credits is like one of the last thing in production anyway, because there's like literally giving credit to every single person. It doesn't make sense to make all the credits at the beginning of the production. I typed in Camp Cretaceous music on YouTube and it's just come up with.
Oh no! I think I know what he's talking about.
Just animated musical.
El Hugany.
Yeah.
If that guy has been doing this for like 13 years, he still can't sing and he still can't draw.
Yeah,
like, I've been drawing for like 6 to 7 months, and I can already draw better dinosaurs than him.
Becky, look at Becky. Look at that beautiful face, Becky.
This might be the last thing we talk about. And even then, it might not be that much. But this ship at the end, where do you think it's going?
Isla
Well,
Nublar.
my theory was blown out of the water. We proved that already.
Well, they could take the ship to a dock that's connected to Bison Island. I
I think I know what you're saying. We got an episode where they're on the boat. the next episode is on a plane, and then the rest of the series is just in Biosyn. Is that what you're saying?
Or it could be going to Malta.
I really, really, really hope that it's not to another island.
Same.
Because we've done that for many seasons in this show, and even in the Jurassic franchise, they keep on going to a sanctuary or an island or a very specific place.
Yaz. That's actually something ironic I want to say. Yaz is also living on an island, except it's the opposite. There are no dinosaurs.
It's specifically a dinosaur-free island.
Yeah.
From the dinosaur's point of view, it's human. From the dinosaur's point of view, it's human infested.
Becky's on cleanup crew.
Clean up on 9-1.
How do all these theories lead back to Becky? The life of Becky.
He's the mastermind.
I think it's gonna. Sorry.
Cole's behind it all.
I hope it leads to. I imagine it will lead closer to the I guess a big organization that's going to be a lot of that's going to be behind a lot of these black market deals, and obviously the connections between a lot of the threats. And I kind of hope that it'll be in like a different country. It'll be nice to see more of the world instead of just America or specific islands. Yeah.
But then we do have the follow-up question. Who do you think the buyer is? Like, the big person behind everything.
That is a difficult question, because it's like... I don't know if they're just going to pull a brand new villain out their ass.
I would think they'd have to, because there are no more... Any possible candidate is dead.
Well, once again, this could turn out to be pre-Dominion, and it could be Dodson.
Dodson.
Because he was in Camp Cretaceous.
True. It's like, I guess they're sort of setting it up as if the big bio is someone we already know in the franchise.
Well, here's the thing. In Dominion, Biosyn collecting the dinosaurs is legal. It's 100% official. But what's going on with the buyers here isn't. So that does kind of imply that either A, this was before it became official with Biosyn, or completely new people.
I'm also leaning back. I'm also gonna lean back to that screenshot about like confirming that semi-confirming that this may take place after Dominion. So in which like that would mean Dodson is dead. I would think that it's a new bad guy.
I hope it is.
I imagine it would be a new bad guy, but like I don't know how I'd feel about it's this one big bad buyer doing everything, because I feel like it's a very natural conclusion that small black market deals would pop up all over the world to sell dinosaurs, and it's not like just one guy running the entire mafia or whatever. It's just like a bunch of smaller criminals all sort of connecting together. And also, I don't know, we sort of had like the big villain many times before. It'll be, I don't know, it might be cool to see like a network, but I don't know. It's a bit weird how you would write that, especially with the mystery angle they're trying to go for. So, because there has to be some sort of reveal.
If they want this to be a proper mystery, along the way we're gonna probably meet a lot of like new characters where they're gonna be like, it's like any one of them could be the bad guy. And if all these years of watching Detective Conan has taught me anything, the best way to find out who the culprit is, point fingers until you're right.
Okay, I think it's the white woman with the Atrociraptors.
So, you think when she's referring to the big boss, she's referring to herself?
Hey, she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
She has a very big ego.
There's just an army. There's an army of white woman clones. They're all in charge.
It's just like the original one is like, everybody else is useless. If you want something done, do it yourself.
They don't quite stare correctly.
And took that a bit too literally.
Each clone is different. One of them doesn't have eyebrows and has an unsettling stare. The other has very small eyes and a huge mouth. The other one has like just nothing but hair all over the head. And the original's just looking at all these clones and like, wow, I did an awful job.
Why have
And
we
the
gone
original
back
is a
to...
velociraptor called Red.
Why have we gone back to the white woman conspiracy theories all over again?
Because that's what stuck with us, and it's funny.
It could just be the entire video. It's just the conspiracy theories around that. We're literally.
I mean, I imagine she's in the thumbnail or something.
We're really just going white woman.
White woman. We're literally Ben in the van and like, who's eating out the boot here?
So what I understand is the real story of the Chaos Theory is, Red is behind it all. She's working together with like, who is she working with? I forget. And then
Herself.
Yeah, well, she's probably a clone army of herself. And then somewhere in the middle, she hires Becky, but Becky doesn't care. She just wants to get her relationship straight.
And she's working with her sister to do so.
But the sister just can't really be bothered and just naps throughout the whole thing. Like, literally, Bridget does nothing against the enemy. It's all Becky. Bridget just shows up and Becky does the rest. And then Bridget just goes to sleep. I think that's it, right? That's it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, Zane, do you have any last words?
Tiger just disrespected that pie. Pinkie Pie is not amused.
Okay. Orca, do you have any last words? And my final words are